Imagine a simple wish, whispered into a magical branch, transforming the person you adore into your worst nightmare. Today, we dive deep into a chilling tale of obsession, regret, and the terrifying consequences of getting exactly what you wished for. Welcome back, cinematic explorers, to a full recap and ending explanation of the indie horror film, A Single Wish Branch. Get ready, because this story unravels the dark side of love and desire, leaving us with hidden details you might have missed. Our story opens with Bear, a seemingly ordinary guy, on the phone, trying to make plans for a night out with friends. He seems hesitant, mentioning he has things to set up and might not make it, hinting at a busy schedule or perhaps a personal struggle. Later, at a shop, Bear accidentally drops his crystal necklace down a drain, feeling genuinely sad about the loss. The shop worker, sensing his distress, offers help, showing him various crystals and their energies, like amethyst for calmness. Bear is suggested citron for good feelings, described as sunshine and rock, a small moment of peace before the storm. His attention is then drawn to single wish branches, a peculiar item that the worker explains are very popular, with everyone wants to make a wish. However, she also warns that people who open them come back and complain, because they either don't work or ruin their lives. This ominous warning about the branches sets a chilling tone, foreshadowing the dark path Bear is about to unwittingly embark upon. We then see Bear with his friends Ian and Sarah, enjoying drinks at a bar, with Ian playfully making fun of Bear. Bear orders a pina colada, explaining he feels like a man who has gotten in touch with his feminine side, because he dislikes the taste of alcohol. Sarah casually mentions that her father keeps a gun in the safe in the break room, a detail that feels out of place but will soon become relevant. The friends toast to Sandy, who has apparently died, though the circumstances are unclear, adding a layer of melancholy to their night out. Bear expresses his tiredness and desire to go home, resisting Ian's attempts to continue their bar crawl to a karaoke place. Despite Ian's persistence, Bear remains firm, stating, "You're a pain in the ass, man," as he leaves with Ian giving him a ride. Ian tells Bear to get your daughter home safe, a slip of the tongue that Ian quickly tries to retract, highlighting the closeness of their bond. Later, Bear and his colleague Nikki discuss her desire for a big change and to feel love, specifically a love story. Nikki opens up to Bear, saying he's the only person I can talk to openly about these issues, praising him for not being like a wall. Bear reveals that Sarah has been asking about your old sweatshirt, subtly hinting at Sarah's potential feelings for Nikki. Nikki dismisses any romantic interest in Sarah, stating, "I love him as a friend," reinforcing her disinterest in Sarah as more than a friend. She then adds, "When I'm in love with a man, no one knows," a bold statement that further clarifies her romantic preferences. Bear attempts to tell Nikki something important, but gets distracted, only for Nikki to accuse him of taking risks in Mr. Lando's class in the past. Nikki playfully calls Bear Crazy Nikki, which he doesn't like, leading to an apology from Nikki, who admits she was kidding. Bear, emboldened, asks Nikki directly, "Do you like me?" a question that hangs heavy in the air, hinting at his deeper feelings. Nikki's response is hesitant and vague, "I think we're good friends," a clear signal that she does not reciprocate his romantic interest. Heartbroken by the rejection, Bear uses the single wish branch and wishes, "I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone else in the world." Immediately, Nikki's demeanor changes drastically. She becomes unusually affectionate, asking to come in, leaving Bear confused and bewildered. Nikki bizarrely claims to have just lost my cat, a lie that Bear is initially saddened by but quickly becomes suspicious of. Her behavior escalates, she acts very strange, making Bear increasingly uncomfortable and scared by her sudden, intense obsession. Nikki fabricates a story, claiming, "My father is dying," an attempt to manipulate Bear into letting her stay with him. At Bear's grandmother's house, Nikki makes a creepy comment, "It smells like you," further unsettling Bear with her possessive nature. Nikki pleads with Bear, "Can you sleep with me, please?" pushing for physical intimacy and making him feel trapped. The next morning, Bear is horrified, realizing Nikki kissed him. Nikki, however, downplays it as a panic attack, further manipulating him. Later, Nikki shows Bear something she's found, calling it a monument, but Bear finds it creepy and dismisses it, saying, "No, this sucks." Ian confronts Bear, saying, "You fucked Nikki, you dog," believing Bear has acted on his feelings for Nikki. Bear confides in Ian that Nikki is going through something weird and that her father has cancer, a lie he now believes. He reveals Nikki was crying while kissing me, highlighting her erratic and disturbing behavior. Ian expresses concern, stating, "I think he needs serious help," recognizing the severity of Nikki's mental state. Nikki apologizes for her strange behavior, claiming she took MDMA and her father made me miserable, attempting to excuse her actions. Bear is surprised, stating, "Nikki, I didn't know you did drugs," feeling further confused by her explanations. Nikki then manipulates Bear, saying, "I know you like me, Bear," pushing him to admit his feelings. Bear admits his feelings for Nikki, explaining they just happened over time, unknowingly falling deeper into her trap. Nikki's response is chillingly possessive, "I'll be in your bed," reinforcing her control over him. Bear is called away, leaving Nikki alone, a moment that feels pregnant with unease and further impending doom. Joe, concerned for Bear, reveals he researched Nikki's father and found him to be healthy as a baby, exposing Nikki's lie. He also shares that Nikki told Sarah she sees Bear like a little sister, implying Nikki's manipulation and lack of genuine affection. Joe warns Bear that Nikki has some kind of bad intentions or some weird mental thing going on, urging caution. Nikki gifts Bear a tiger's eye, claiming it brings confidence and willpower, further cementing her manipulative hold. She then asks Bear, "Do you love me more than anyone else in the world?" directly mirroring his wish, revealing the wish's effect. Bear, now suspicious, asks Nikki directly, "Does your father really have cancer?" Nikki immediately denies it, "No, no, no," confirming she had lied and solidifying Bear's understanding of her deception. Back at home, Bear discovers Nikki wearing his sweater, adding to the growing sense of invasion and her constant presence. Nikki expresses her insecurity, "I don't like my dream. You don't love me as much as I love you," revealing the wish's effect on her perception. Her desperation grows as she repeatedly asks, "Why don't you love me?" showcasing her growing instability. The next morning, Bear wakes to find Nikki has cut her hair, a sign of her increasingly erratic and unstable behavior. Nikki professes her love, "I love you," to Bear, who, overwhelmed, reciprocates out of fear and confusion. Bear asks Nikki to promise no more weird stuff and no more watching me or making weird movements while I sleep, trying to set boundaries. Later, Sarah approaches Bear, asking about a box joke, a reference that feels ominous and out of place. She expresses concern about Nikki, asking, "What's your problem with Nikki?" implying Nikki has been talking about her. In a disturbing scene, Nikki makes a bizarre comment about Bear's mouth smelling weird while pretending to be his food critic. She then chillingly asks, "What's your verdict on the cat?" referencing the cat she supposedly lost, now clearly a macabre joke. Bear is terrified and keeps asking, "What does this mean?" realizing the depth of Nikki's derangement. Joe, confronting Bear, demands to know, "Are we going to talk about you and Nikki?" frustrated by Bear's denial of the situation. Joe brings up Ian's claims that Nikki was using drugs, trying to make Bear see the truth. He stresses, lies about his father, showing Bear that Nikki's deceptions are undeniable. Bear and Ian plan a boys' night, an attempt by Bear to escape Nikki's suffocating presence. Bear's instructions to Nikki over the phone are chilling, "You can't cook the cat, okay?" a horrific insight into Nikki's actions. Desperate, Bear calls the Single Wish Branch hotline, asking if he can cancel your wish. The store worker calmly informs him, "We don't actually do this," revealing there is no reversal for his wish. Bear realizes he's screwed forever, and the wish will only disappear as long as you live, implying death is the only escape. The worker chillingly states that Bear has a moral obligation to be with him due to the wish. Back home, Bear finds Nikki in the shower and asks, "Did you cook the cat?" facing the horrifying reality of her actions. Bear tries to go to Ian's guys' night, but Nikki subtly manipulates him into inviting her along. When Bear tries to uninvite her, Nikki says, "I knew you would bring it," showing she anticipated his every move. At the party, Sarah confronts Bear, stating, "My mom is trying, asshole," hinting at the negative impact of his relationship with Nikki. Nikki, now at the party, commands, "Bear, I want to sit next to Nikki," demanding Bear's proximity. During a game, Nikki reads a disturbing story she wrote, featuring grotesque imagery like, "Both sides were stretched," and "meat between my legs." She then makes a horrifying announcement, "And everyone in this room will die," revealing her murderous intent. Nikki tries to pass it off as a joke, saying, "I am just kidding guys," but the chilling atmosphere remains. Joe is taken to the hospital, his fate uncertain, as Bear confronts Nikki about her actions. Bear pleads, "Nikki, you're scaring everyone," trying to make her understand the consequences of her behavior. Nikki again asks Bear, "Do you like me?" to which he, now terrified, denies any romantic feelings. She screams, "I can't be Nikki," implying the wish has fundamentally changed her, turning her into a different, darker entity. Bear, trying to appease her, says, "I love you too," to which Nikki responds, "I would never hurt you," a promise she soon breaks. Bear tries to escape, telling Nikki, "Why don't you take the bed tonight," hoping to get some distance. He contacts Ian, pleading, "Kill me please," desperate for an end to his torment. Nikki appears, holding Ian, saying, "He is sleeping," confirming she has murdered him. In a flashback or alternate reality, Ian warned Bear that it's not right for him to lean on you, and that Nikki needs therapy. Ian revealed that he and Nikki have been having sex on and off for about 2 years, exposing Nikki's true nature. Nikki, holding Bear captive, chillingly says, "It's kind of your fault for wishing upon the branch." She demands Bear's help to get rid of his body, implicating him in Ian's murder. Nikki blames Bear, stating, "You wished for this," shifting responsibility for her horrific actions onto him. Sarah, frantic, searches for single-wish branches at the store, desperate to reverse something. The store worker chastises her, saying the box was full of warnings, man, reiterating the irreversible nature of the wish. Sarah is desperate, stating, "I need to reverse this," hinting that she also made a wish, perhaps for Bear. The worker explains that, maybe, just maybe, if someone else has made a wish that conflicts with your wish, it can be reversed. The other option for reversal is chilling, or you can die. So you can kill yourself, highlighting the grim choice. Ian, still alive in this sequence, asks Bear, "What did I do?" as he is confronted by a frantic Bear. Ian reiterates the lie about Nikki's father dying, showing how deeply ingrained the deception is. Bear receives his acceptance letter from Luther, a dream that is now overshadowed by his terrifying reality. Ian, now the one spilling the truth, reveals Ian and Nikki have been having sex on and off for about 2 years, shattering Bear's illusions. Ian confronts Bear, saying, "You were supposed to kiss me in the game," implying Bear missed a chance for a different path. Nikki, now having killed Ian, blames Bear, "Sarah, it's your fault. You wished for this," confirming Sarah made a wish too, presumably for Bear. Nikki's final chilling words to Bear, "I'm not going anywhere," seal his fate, trapped forever in her obsessive love. The film ends with Bear screaming, "What have you done?" as the horror of his wish fully consumes his life. And there you have it, the full, disturbing descent into obsession and regret with A Single Wish Branch. This movie masterfully blends psychological horror with a critique of toxic relationships, leaving us questioning the true cost of desire. What do you think about the film's ending? Were Bear's actions justified, or did he bring this nightmare upon himself? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please give this video a like, share it with a fellow film buff, and subscribe for more movie recaps and explanations. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.